Hi everybody, and we're back today to talk about church again. Not in any negative way, I don't believe in doing that. If anyone caught the previous video I did about the turmoil he was going through in his relationship, I did a video trying to reach out to him and say, hey, this is why this is happening. Your ownership is a very small portion of this. These are things that you can work on, and these are things you need to look for. And this is what you need to do to heal. He actually did respond to that, thanked me for that. Dozens of people responded to that via email, hundreds, if not thousands, commented, and then I had, I think, over 40 or 50,000 views on the videos I did. Now, since I believe that the positive impact that those have had are now gone, I have made those private because I don't believe those need to follow him around and haunt him as he is emotionally moving forward. I certainly would not want that to happen, so I've made them private. I do, however, want to give my input and feedback as to how I think he's doing now since he has moved away from the emotional onset and dealing with life and moving forward. And we can only judge from what he places on Instagram and Facebook and social media platforms. So this is a very small portion of his life, but it's a good window to see where his headspace is, where his mind is going, where his energy is going. And just to be quite honest, I have to give major kudos to Upchurch. He is doing phenomenal. I am absolutely amazed at the turnaround and that the energy that he has refocused and put into his shows and his daily life. Now, a lot of people don't understand what happens when you're in a breakup. There are 7 steps to grieving, and we kind of got to watch him go through all of these, and that's kind of unsettling if you were to think about it from our perspectives, having the whole world watch you process, this emotional gutting. It's not pleasant. He handled it with so much grace, and it just proves to me that he is a good old country boy. And, at Cotton Eye Joe on the 3rd or the 4th, when he did the speech before he sang the Hey Boy, Hey Girl song, I was absolutely, in his corner completely. He took ownership of his part of the issues, said he wasn't going to badmouth her, and you are just a good old country boy. That is why your fans love you. You're consistent. We know what to anticipate from you. We know that you've been consistent for all of these years that we've been able to watch you on these platforms, and that you're not changing depending on your fame level. For a fan, that is such a rare thing to see in somebody that they enjoy, idolize, and seek for entertainment. We appreciate it. So, dude, you're doing awesome. I'm so freaking proud of you. And I just want to give you a heads up, and anyone else that reached out that was struggling with a relationship, you have 7 steps to grieving. Make sure you go through them all. It will make your emotional availability for your next relationship, much more advantageous and more likely to succeed. So obviously the first stage when you find yourself in a breakup, you're seeking answers. That is when your mind is racing, the world has stopped, nothing is coherent, nothing makes sense, and you're just trying to put the puzzle together, but the puzzle is always missing a few pieces. This is where you kind of get stuck. A lot of people get stuck here for a long time, and any one of these steps that I'm going to talk about, you can go through them in a matter of minutes or a matter of months, or if you don't handle them, they can actually plague you for any relationship you have in your future. So it's very good for you to think about these things and go, okay, I need to handle this because I want to have a positive relationship in the future. So once you get through, looking for the answers, 9 times out of 10 you can't find them. There is not a lot of common sense in a breakup. We can't see it because we're emotionally attached. We can't see the logic, or we can't peer into somebody else's brain and see their logic. So we don't feel like we find the answers we want. So we immediately go into denial. Denial is the second one. When you're in denial, you are simply not processing, not thinking, not moving forward. You are still trying to replay your memories in your head and stay there, and you think that somehow it's miraculously going to reappear and you're going to be able to jump right back into life where you were. It never works like that. Then when it doesn't work like that, you go on to stage 3, which is bargaining. Now this is a stage where it's tricky. You will start to say, hey, if you'll come back, I will take on this persona. If you'll, renegotiate the relationship, we can change these things. You're willing to give up pieces and parts of yourself and your integrity to maintain a relationship, which pretty much at this point is toxic. If you're bargaining, you're in a toxic relationship. If that person comes back to bargain, they're definitely a toxic person, because they will take advantage of you when you are emotionally not at your top strength. You do not want to be with a person that will come back and bargain in this stage. They are there for what they can get, what they can maintain, what they can control, and they're not there for you and your well-being. So anybody that's in the bargaining stage, take notice. You don't need to be with that person. You need to go ahead and let them go out the door. Now, during bargaining, if they come back and you go back into a relationship, that is basically for relapse. Relapse normally occurs when they come back in a relationship, or it can happen when you're physically, mentally go back to reliving that relationship in your mind. But if they happen to relapse in a way that they come back into the relationship, you are now in a very unhealthy relationship, because you are in no way, shape, or form emotionally, mentally able to be this person's counterpart. They know that they have the authority and the power over you. They know that at this point they govern your countenance and they control your integrity. Toxic. Please, if you find yourself in the bargaining or relapse stages, please think long and hard about being with that person, because they are seeking out other things besides love. Then once you get through those stages, you normally go straight into anger. Anger is not necessarily a negative place. Anger often gives us the energy that we need to go into the remainder of the stages and be successful. So I like to call this an energy-filled stage. You're very absolutely brimming with energy, lots of times energy that you do not know what to do with or how to positively use. And so normally it comes out as anger. Now, anger, it can be emotionally crippling. It can stick with you and it can cause a lot of trauma. It can cause trauma to others, and it can reduce your ability to have a successful relationship in the future. So if you find yourself in an anger-prone state of mind or emotional state, please see somebody for help. Look into anger management. Look into anything that's going to teach you how to calm down and process these emotions and these ideas about this breakup and this dwindling relationship and this emotional anxiety you're going through. Find that help so that you're not going to live here. This is those highs and lows I spoke about in a previous video. We don't live there. We need to find a way to get back onto the middle ground. Now, once you get through the anger process and you realize, okay, the relationship is over, we're going to have to move on, then you go into the initial acceptance stage, where you start to think about life progressing and opportunities. As your energy builds and your motivation builds and the world starts to look a little bit more colored and a little bit more hopeful and a little bit more inviting again, then you move into stage 7, which is the redirection stage. I like to call this the advancement toward hope. When you are in the redirection stage, that is when you start to then apply that energy that you're noticing that you are full of, and that positivity that you're starting to see come back through, and you put it into areas of your life where you know it's going to benefit you. It's going to create momentum that you can enjoy and that will make you feel better about yourself and those that you come into contact with. I honestly think that he has worked through all of these and is already in stage 7. Now, will he bounce back and maybe visit a few? Yes, we can always bounce back and visit a couple stages and dwell there for a day or two and then bounce forward again. That's normal. We don't always go through these in a linear motion. We can play ping pong with them sometimes. Is it healthy? Sometimes it isn't, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes when you have an option, you need to go and revisit an emotion to see if you need to take that option. Sometimes you need to stay away from it. That's an individual decision that you're going to have to make, or if you seek help, that you and your counselor or therapist can make. I really feel that he has progressed through all of these very quickly, and I think he did so because he had a good support system with him. I know I looked into the body language of Ripta. I think he's got a very solid friend right there, somebody that is there for all of the right reasons. So obviously he's going to get all the right emotional support. He's got his mama with him. He's got a large amount of family, and while he does have to isolate due to his status, and he has to be a little bit pickier about who he lets into his world, he does seem to pick the people that are going to give him the appropriate emotional support. And he also seems to pick the people that are going to hold him accountable. So I have no doubt in my mind that on the days he's wanted to sit there and kind of emotionally lick his wounds, he's had people say, It's not a good idea. You need to do something else. I was fully prepared for the concerts at Knoxville to not go as well as they did. And when I saw the clips, I was so freaking proud of him that he had made these huge emotional gains and these huge mental gains, and he was able to give the fans what they paid for, what he knew they wanted, and he was going to maintain that relationship, and he was not going to allow this to snowball and take him out of what he does best. It was not going to affect his work, his job, his passion, and his bond with his fans. Super impressed, super impressed. I'm a fan for life. The way he's handled this, the way he projects himself, the way he treats his mama, and the speech he did before he sang with Carly. Fan for life. I think the boy's got a great head on his shoulders. He's got a good, humble heart, and he's going to be bigger than I believe anyone can ever anticipate. And I think it's really a lot to do with his heart and the countenance that he offers amidst what he's doing. He's making these songs, and he's making this music, and he's making us laugh, but in between all of those things, he is still just a very, very normal, available, just good guy. Do you know how rare that is for somebody that has his level of fame? That's probably one reason that I enjoy keeping up with him as much as I do. I enjoy that it doesn't go to his head, and his ego has not blown up and left the atmosphere. Now, how do you heal faster when you get out of a bad relationship? Upchurch, maybe you want to know this. I don't know. Maybe I know I helped you in the other videos. I'm glad. If you're having any issues or wondering how you heal faster from this, even though I think you're doing phenomenal, bud, the gym, the concerts, the videos, worrying about yourself, putting yourself as a priority, you've got it locked down. You're taking care of yourself. You're going to be fine. If you want to speed up the process, just continue doing what you're doing, such as keep your distance from your ex or anybody that puts you back in that mindset. It's not a healthy place to be. Make a list of why that person or people like that person are bad for you. Put it on your refrigerator. Look at it. And when you step into a new relationship or a new possible relationship, go down that list. Look for those red flags. If there are red flags there, talk to yourself about the red flags. Do you need to be in that relationship and around that person? Make changes in your immediate domain. Now, he has had some damage to his house the other night, but he went through that windstorm too. It was not nice, but he's had to do some work on his house anyway. Change things, whether it's just moving the furniture around so things appear different, or doing some landscaping, adding a porch swing that you wanted for 10 years, or getting a new bedspread or comforter or a new lamp, anything that kind of creates a new momentum. Even small things, such as, I like to, if I'm really upset or really down, or I'm having winter, like depression, seasonal depression, because I'm locked in my house due to my neuromuscular disorder, I will move my living room around so that it seems new. It seems like I have a new option, a new view, a new perspective. Take on a new hobby or activity. Dude, you're going to the gym. You got it. You're doing great. Go to the gym. Find something that you can put your energy in that's going to chew up that extra anxiety that you're going to have right now and use it in a positive way. I like to sew and quilt and paint. He's going to the gym. He looks awesome. You're making yourself a priority. You're doing great. And that's actually one of the steps too, is to focus on your health, because anything you do for your physical health is going to benefit your mental health. You got it down, son. You're doing great. And the last thing I would say is maybe seek out, sit down with yourself and seek out your innermost desires for the future. What do you want to focus on? Who do you want to be? How do you get there? Really learn how to go inside and have those talks with yourself, almost a meditative state. Have quiet time to talk to yourself about yourself and about your plans, hopes, desires, dreams. When you talk about them, when you think about them, you talk about them. When you talk about them, they actually happen. They occur. So these are my tips. I think he's doing phenomenal. I think he has blown it out of the water. So freaking proud of him. I hope that I was able to help him. I hope that maybe I made him look at things a little differently. I hope I helped you know, as many others as possible, and I appreciate the people that have given me the feedback. I'm glad I was able to help you also. I think he's going to go farther than anybody ever has an idea about success. He's just, for me, the success he has garnered as a young country boy has been phenomenal. But to see the way that he has handled this emotional tar pit, it tells me that he has the skills and the confidence and the internal fortitude to be bigger than anybody can actually comprehend. So I look for Upchurch to turn into a country legend. And I think he probably will tap into literally every genre of music out there before the story ends. I think he's going to be he's going to touch every genre, and he's going to touch every style. And we, as just good old hillbillies, country folk, we're going to have somebody that we're going to be able to brag about for years to come. So that's how I feel. That's how I think he's doing. I hope you guys are doing great too. And again, if you're having issues or you're stuck and having problems, comment below. You can also email me. Email is listed in the description. And if I can give you friendly advice or help find you resources to put you on a better path, I most certainly will. So that is the Mama Liz feedback discussion of the day. And y'all, your unofficial Creeksquad counselor is so proud of all y'all.